Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's that time of the week for the Cannabis Events Talk Show, hosted by Event.io, and I am your host, Diego Cannabis. For those that are unfamiliar with this show, the Cannabis Events Talk Show covers all about cannabis events, experiences, and tourism. We keep you updated on the hottest topics, current news, trends, and interviews with event producers and more, along with marketing tips. So, the lineup of the show, we will bring our special guest to join us on shortly, and it'll be more of an interview format. After the interview, we will discuss one specific article of the week. Again, it's going to be around cannabis tourism, hospitality, or events. And then that would be the end of the show. So, while we are getting started, feel free to comment in the chat bar on where you're joining us from, and be sure to join the conversation with our special guest and myself. And as we are starting it, hi Juan, thank you for joining us from Arizona. And Jonathan, welcome. We both are different cannabis business owners in the industry, the guest and myself. So if you have specific questions, feel free to include them in the chat. And now I am excited to introduce you to this week's guest, as he is honestly somebody that I respect. And I've actually known him for many years and honored to call him a friend. Joshua Caruso. Joshua Caruso is a San Diego based cannabis entrepreneur. His passion for the culture stems for years of legacy experience in helping patients find THC and CBD medicine, cultivation, manufacturing, organizing specialized events, and more. He is the founder of the Farmers Cup competition, the San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market, and Honeyflower Collective. Josh organized various local San Diego iconic cannabis events with his team, such as the Hemp Culture Expo, the Cannabis Career Business Expo, and Cannabis Row at Earth Day San Diego. His work has been published through several renowned media platforms, including Forbes, High Times, and Cannabis Now. Welcome, Josh. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, what's up, Adelia? How's it going?
It's going good. I'm just excited to finally have you on the show. You know, you're somebody honestly that I respect and appreciate for all that you continue to do for this industry. So with that being said, you know, I shared a little bit about your backstory, but let's go back to the very beginning. Like, how did you get in the cannabis industry? Were you always a part of it? Like, what was that? How did you find that connection with the plant?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. You caught me in my living room. I appreciate everybody tuning in right now. Shout out to Event. Hi, Ali, Adelia. You guys are always doing new things, and appreciate the invite about our events. So it all started back with we have passion about the cannabis plant, and it really stems from growing up as teenagers. We loved smoking cannabis. It got us high, and we were chilling, and we had friends doing it, and it was really like a community thing growing up as teenagers. But then we started to realize that it had some medicinal value to it, and that people around us that were sick, that really could needed this medicine, there was a real need for it. So that's really where it stemmed from. We started to grow it. I started learning those skills, and then it stemmed from there. We realized that the community really needed events that were based on something as simple as just connecting people with people. And so we started doing events, and that's really where it started from, was growing cannabis, providing it to our friends, people in need and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then that turned into your first official business, right? Which would have been Honeyflower Collective.
That was exactly. That was from back in 2014. It was pre Prop 64 here in California, so it wasn't recreational yet. So we had to form these collectives under the Prop 215 form. So we basically had a collective, and that's how we did manufacturing. We grew our own cannabis. We made our own products, edibles, and everything else, delivery service. And then we stemmed on, and we realized that the community really needed more than what we could provide. So we started calling our friends, seeing who else was doing the same thing we were. And at the time, it was just really a big thing in California. Prop 215 was just allowing a lot of opportunity for a lot of mom and pop businesses and people with, skills, growing skills, manufacturing different products and stuff. So it was really all coming to market at the time. And we decided, why not do an event and bring everybody together? and let's get the patients involved too, because they're really the ones that really need the stuff that people were producing and growing. So we did the San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market. That was back in 2014. We thought it was going to be, just a little cannabis farmers market, something like that, a couple vendors here and there. But the community really reacted well to it. There was a lot. We had over 300 people our first time, and it was just in the back of a little warehouse, somewhere. So we realized really quick, like there's a real need for this here in San Diego. And then we kept on doing that more and more. Yeah, that's really how it began.
Yeah. And I remember going to those. Those were, and the thing is, it's like you brought so much around it. You brought around education, you brought around, all the other collectives, you brought around the patients. Like it really felt like community, and it was something that San Diego really needed at the time. And to be honest, we still need it there, as you know. But
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit more about that. So with San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market, you know, nobody knows all the behind the scenes, and as an event producer, and we don't want to share all that either. There's just, it's a lot. But just, what was that experience like back in the day when you had to work with the city and finding these venues, and even too, like with the police? Like, what was that approach like? How was that experience back then?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a time where we looked at the laws and there was a way that we could do it legally. So I went about it like it was 100% legal. I called all the, everywhere where we needed to call. We hit up everybody who we needed to talk to. And, we soon realized that even though the laws changed, there was still a lot of fiery hoops we had to jump around. And a lot of those hoops we couldn't go through. So, it just, it was kind of like a win, for the whole legalization thing. But at the same time, it did leave a lot of stuff open for education for the government, because they still looked at us like an illegal business that, they were just letting happen. And even so nowadays with recreational cannabis, it's still kind of the same thing, not as much, but still kind of the same struggle that we're finding. We're trying to get cannabis as much in the public as possible in obviously a respectful way, but at least the education about it, and could really still, kill the stigma.
Yeah. Now, going more into that, over time you have evolved and added new event productions to your lineup of events. Specifically around the education component, from like the hemp culture what was it? The hemp, I want to say it correctly, I apologize.
Yeah,
Hemp
yeah, you got it. Hemp culture expo. That's right.
And then you have the Cannabis Career Business Expo, and then also working with Earth Day. How did those evolve? What you're still producing those as well, right?
Yeah, that's something that's been near and dear to our hearts. There's a lot of people who need the education about cannabis, and really in the everyday person who, doesn't really want to hear about it. There's really no other way we're going to get to them except being at an event. So we really started pushing events early on when we started doing our collective and just being a part of them. And we saw real quick that the public events is something where the cannabis industry wasn't a part of at all. And so we started, contacting people like Earth Day or the Jazz Festival or Pride or whatever the public event may be. And, we're really pushing it hard, saying we want to be involved in your event. How can we be involved? Can we get a booth? Can we, help you guys with sponsor? Do you want some education at your event? And we just really started pushing that. And over the years, we got denied by, a whole bunch of them. But, you got to be persistent. So there's been a few that have worked with us. And over the years as well, we've had some new partners come on board with our team. And that stemmed with the Hemp Culture Expo. That was the first expo on the naval base over there in NTC that had hemp there. It was a really good day. And then we also did something with Earth Day as well. And we also do a hiring fair too, a cannabis event hiring fair for businesses and for the public as well. It's a free event. And that one we just rescheduled in October. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, yeah. And that one too, I have a website up on the screen right now. There's also, it aligns also again with getting jobs in the industry. So you guys also have a website where people can find some of these jobs that'll also be at this event available, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to invite the public out there to connect with cannabis culture and cannabis community that are hiring, specifically dispensaries, brands licensed in the cannabis industry. And we're going to also invite the hemp and other industries out there as well to, see what it's all about. So definitely a lot of people are going to be hiring that day. We just announced a partnership with 40 Tons. They're going to be coming out, helping us out. And we're really excited about that one. They're doing some amazing work in the same space, as far as getting people hired, looking out for social equity and stuff like that. And we're going to really push those new components. And what we're excited about too is we're launching the this event in a time where it's going to be politically heavy. So that's going to be in October. There's going to be a lot of elections up, that next month after that. So we're really going to invite the politicians out that are really pushing these new cannabis laws here in San Diego or other places in Southern California. And we want them to connect with the community. And, really at the end of the day, we need to hold them accountable for what, they are talking about doing in this next election, because that's where all the fun starts for San Diego. And that's what we do need change in our system still. And that's where it's going to start from. So we're going to invite all the politicians out to mingle with the community and give them a chance to speak and see if we can make that connection. And they'll really hear what we have to say that day. And we're super excited about that day.
Well, and you have been doing this for a long time. You have been going to all these city meetings and, bringing them to the industry or to an event that you're hosting, I think is going to be very, very pivotal. To kind of go into that, back when we first launched, not we, but when the state first gave out the CEO license, you guys went and got one. However, you faced some complications, right? Like San Diego, you got a license, but you can't do anything with it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's good. It's fun times with dealing with politics and the government and stuff. We really put faith. Once it happened, we saw the line Prop 64 hitting the recreational. We knew that it's going to be more than just everybody smoking cannabis and opening dispensaries. We knew that they're going to want their taxes at the end of the day. So we kind of saw it coming, but we really put faith in getting the license type. They offered a license type for cannabis event organizers, and it was perfect for us because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we were. We're cannabis event organizers. They made an event license type for us. So we went right away, right when 2018 hit and Prop 64 went into effect. We signed up, we spent the $5,000 or whatever it was. It was a small amount, but it was still an amount that we had to pay to get the license. And it was a cannabis event license. And that allowed us to do cannabis events with consumption and with sales at our events throughout California. So we have this license, it came in a couple months later. We were so happy about it. We started doing research and, we found out real quick that we couldn't do our cannabis events, even with our license, because the state had put the local municipalities in charge. So basically what that means is, they put the cities in charge and the counties in charge. So I went to San Diego, I went to La Mesa, I went to Chula Vista. I said, I got my golden ticket now. Let's work. Let's do these events. We want to do the San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market in every city in San Diego. And I found out really quick that nobody allowed it because they didn't even know what it was. I got laughed in my face. They were like, what do you mean there's an event license? I had to tell the city attorney many times about the license. So it's typical, when things go legal and the bureaucracies kick in, but we're still here. That's one thing we had to pivot and figure out different kind of events to still make an impact. Yeah, exactly. It make an impact within the San Diego community. So so that's what we're doing now, and we still have the license. We're still trying to figure it out, but that's
Still trying to educate everybody to just say yes. Can we just use the venue?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Well,
coming soon though. We're still holding on.
yeah, it will. And again, you've been doing this since 2014, and you know how it is trying to educate, trying to get things passed. And, once things start to evolve in San Diego, who are they going to go to first? Somebody they recognize, somebody who's always talked to them, who's always educated them and that they trust. So
Yeah, that's why we're not going to give up. There'll be another time for San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market, just like we used to do it in 2014. It won't be the same exactly, but it's coming. Guarantee all you folks out there, and we'll invite everybody for free when it does happen.
Well, now, so one of the other things I just wanted to bring to light, and I've kind of said it already throughout our conversation, is the impact of events. You always, all the different types of events that you have created have had a huge component around education. And so, just to kind of go back, why is education so important to you as you produce these events?
I mean, in many different ways, it's really all about education if you kind of just break down the basis of it. But at the end of the day, we're the human brain, and we're all humans listening to this right now. The human brain can soak up information from the minute we're born or in our mom's stomach, I guess, until the day we're not here anymore. So that just alone is, something that I remember, and to just keep on learning, because I'm still learning stuff. I've been in the industry more than 25 years. I learn stuff almost every day in this industry still. So it's amazing. And we just got to spread the knowledge. I mean, I want to know what everybody else is knowledge is, and I'm sure they want the same thing. So just connecting on a human level with these events is really, really good for our community. Especially when we don't have the support from a lot of different people in the other industries or in our community, or even in our local jurisdictions or governments. So we got to really support ourselves and support our own community and support each other.
I love that. Now, I know you mentioned the San Diego Business Expo. What else do you have in store for 2022?
We got a few things. I can't really release them right now, but we're working with a few different concert venues here in San Diego. I really wish I could say something right now. It's not finalized, so I can't. But we'll be releasing them pretty soon, hopefully in September. The next thing we're doing is we'll be at the Island Vibe Festival. We have a booth over there. We're going to be spreading some cannabis education over there on it's August 13th. That's coming up soon. Other than that, we're going to be focusing all of our attention on our cannabis career and business expo. So if anybody would like to get involved in that, we can drop some links in here, and you can definitely check out our websites. All the information is available on there. We just did a lockdown the partnership with the Sheraton Four Points over there in Claremont. So we bought out the whole area. We have a ton of space inside, outside. It's going to be a really good day. So yeah, we just want to invite everybody out there and in cannabis land, and come out there. It's a free event. We have sponsorship opportunities. We also have booth space. So we'd love to have you guys out there.
So any businesses that are looking or have any jobs, contact. It'll be San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market, right? They can go there.
Yep. They can go there.
Perfect. I have the website up on the screen right now. So whether you want to attend or you want to be a part of the event, go visit the website and you can connect with Josh and his team. Now, before I let you go, we do always talk about an article that's happening in the news lately. So this one is specific to the Cannabis Cafe in Thailand. So I'm going to do a quick overview, Josh, and then you and I can chat about it really quick. Cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Okay. So today's article is called Cannabis Cafe Welcomes Tourists in Thailand. A cannabis cafe was opened a couple days ago in Khao San and is attracting thousands of tourists. Khao San, which is a popular area for tourists and backpackers, is filled with enthusiastic tourists who are excited to experience various products of cannabis. As most of you know, and we've spoken about it before, Thailand decriminalized cannabis back in June. Several outlets of the same likelihood are also popping up across the country. And what they are looking at, the reasoning is why Thailand is pushing this forward so much, is honestly to recover fast from the pandemic. They are looking at tourism as a huge outlet, and they believe that cannabis tourism is going to bring so much not only just profitability, but economic impact on a positive way to their country. One of the stats that they say is, foreign arrivals in the country actually shrunk to 2 million in the first half of 2022. Previously, it was up to 40 million at the beginning of 2019. So that is a huge drop that they faced that they faced during the pandemic. The owner of this cafe said that he's also receiving immense amount of support from his coworkers and the community. And they are now looking that cannabis tourism contributes about 12% to the entire GDP count. So, Josh, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. What about these cannabis cafes that are popping up outside of the US? How do you think it's going to happen here? I mean, it's happening here to some level. We have lounges, but yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, just the Thailand part is so exciting. I think that's the first East Asian country, if I remember right, that is allowing anything like that. And for recreational use, I mean, that's so big. That's like the open door to the rest of the world. I mean, I mean, I'm sure you're hearing what's going on in Russia, with the Brittany, what's her name?
Yes.
She's in jail right now for that. So I mean, the rest of the world has a lot of education that we need to do. And I mean, I think that's huge, and that's awesome. I want to go to Thailand and eat some curry that's medicated or something. I don't know.
Right.
Hopefully, yeah. But but yeah. So as far as here, I mean, that's so important to our culture and our community and our industry too. Even the business sector, people do need to use the cannabis that they buy. If you look at it in a very simple way, so just the not allowing people to do that is really a disservice, and we all voted it in here in California. So to not allow people to do that, it's really a disservice to the voters at the end of the day, I feel. So the more cafes we open up, the better. I
Yes.
mean, definitely, just the more people that are talking about it, just like we're talking about it right now, let's keep on spreading the education. Let's make sure to hold the politicians that talk about it and say they're going to allow it accountable. And it's all about communication. So but yeah, I feel that those are going to be exciting. I know that National City, they just opened up a lounge over there in National City here in the San Diego area. I think Santee is talking about opening one, and I'm hearing the county is going to open up to it too. So we'll see. But
That's
I love lounges. Yeah,
yeah.
lounges are cool.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. And like you said, the education and conversation needs to continue to happen. A lot of people don't maybe may not have that experience, but if you're renting an apartment, even some of these condos, they don't necessarily allow cannabis use, even if you're a patient.
Oh,
So people are
that
getting
is,
impacted.
I mean, you spoke on something so big right there. The housing market is insane in California, and it's going crazier. So there's not too many people who actually own their houses. And like what you just said, a lot of the applications, when you sign any rental agreement, there's a clear thing on there that says no smoking, no drug use. And that definitely, I guarantee marijuana is right in there. And, so anyways, they need to give us places to smoke, damn it.
Yep. Agreed. And they need to make them viable. I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
different things around it. So this is definitely a conversation that I think people need to continue to have. And yeah, I'm excited for Thailand. Would love to go down there. But any final words before we let you go? Like you said, you have the upcoming the Cannabis Career Business Expo, and that was going to be in. What was the date for that?
That's October 29th. So it's
October.
right before Halloween. It's right at the begin or almost the end of the political season where everybody's, getting hot to do that. And hopefully a lot of people are hiring at this time for the holiday season. So we really wanted to launch it that strategically at that time. So October 29th, free event for the public. It's 4 Point Sheraton in San Diego. And please come out. We'd love to have everybody there.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Josh. And again, just for all that you do, all that you have done for the industry. Like you were one of the first people that I met in San Diego as I got into cannabis, and just what you did with your event. It was just impressive since day one. So thank you for all
Thank
your
you.
hard work.
Thank you so much, Adelia and Event High. You guys have been supportive since we met. I really appreciate all you guys' hard work. And thank you for inviting me on the show. Really appreciate it. Yeah, definitely catch you guys next time.
Sounds good. And
All right.
Thomas replied he wants to be a vendor. So Thomas,
Great.
reach out to the San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market.com, and you guys can get connected, and hopefully you'll be a vendor at the event.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Adelia.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all for tuning in and for joining the conversation this week. We are so appreciative for Josh Caruso and his team over at the San Diego Cannabis Farmers Market and Farmers Cup Official. So before we go, I just want to send a few last reminders. So next week's guest will be Jasmine Morabi Sibel of Ganja Flow. She hosts an event series in Arizona and California focused around meditation, yoga, and ganja. And this week of the event, this week's event of the week, let me say that correctly, is Frenchy Dreams of Hashish LA. So you're invited to come network and enjoy a powerful film around Frenchy cannoli and the farmers. The intention of this film is to highlight the ethos of sustainable farming and dedication to quality sun-grown cannabis shared by Frenchy and his farmers. This film was produced by Jake Remington, and he said during filming, California's cannabis industry experienced waves of change that negatively affected and threatened the livelihood of the small farmers Frenchy worked with. So, what they're going to be doing with this screening is they're going to be giving 20% of the proceeds from all screenings of the film, both in theaters and eventually online, to be donated to the Origins Council. The Origins Council is a nonprofit advocacy association that serves 900 licensed small and independent cannabis businesses in 6 legacy producing counties throughout California. If you're interested in attending the next event, which will be in Los Angeles this month, you can go to eventhi.io and look for Frenchy Dreams of Hashish. They also are going to be producing a screening in New York and many other cities soon. They're also actually got invited to go to the Grow Off in Canada and will be doing a showing there as well. So with that being said, thank you all again for joining, and stay safe, stay healthy, and stay high. Bye.